Hey guys, welcome back to the Laid Back Homestead. I'm Crystal, and today I got a quick video. I want to give y'all a quick hydroponic update, and I also want to start some seeds. So we're going to go grab some supplies. I'm moving my hose right now. I'm in the process of watering because it's hot here in zone 9A, and watering pretty much every day is a must. So I'm going to take y'all, we'll go grab some supplies, and we'll talk about what seeds I'm starting. And I'm curious to know if any of you are currently starting seeds. It's June. It's too soon for me to do tomato seeds for fall tomatoes and really to start any of my fall veggies, but there's still some summer things I can get going. So let's go grab those supplies. So while I was putzing around the yard to collect all my supplies to start seeds, I noticed that my fireball plant is blooming. I am so excited about this. This plant I first saw in my mom's yard. She got it from a local nursery. She lives about an hour away from me, so it was local to her. And I fell in love with it. I wanted one. And so she managed to get back to the nursery, and they were out of them, and then they called her and they finally got another one in. They labeled it as a fireball plant. I don't know if that's its true name, but I had it, and it's actually growing in one of my dad's pots. He passed away, so that pot's real sentimental to me. But we had this, and I did everything I could to protect it over the winter. We had a freak snowstorm here in Louisiana. We had like 10 inches of snow here, just unprecedented. They said it was like the 130-year snowstorm. Like, should not see another one in our lifetime. But I had trimmed this guy all the way to the bottom, and we put him in the greenhouse, but we weren't really sure if he was going to pull through and make it through all that. And so to actually see him thriving has me so excited. So just in case you're curious as to where these eventual plants will go, my tomatoes are about to be done. We are heading into June. It's early June right now. We're heading into June, and they're already getting hit with the heat and humidity. And eventually they're going to just stop producing altogether. Our nighttime temperatures are just now starting to exceed 75, and that's going to last well until fall for us. So I find that once the blossoms start dropping, it's just not worth keeping them. They surely did get tall this year. My goodness, this is probably, these established beds have done amazing, certainly outperformed my expectations. So I can't complain. It's been a good season. I've harvested over 100 pounds of tomatoes so far. I still have some fruit being set, and I'm just going to continue with that. But I figure I can start seeds, and we're going to have a lot of space once these tomato plants start coming out. For the hydroponic update, in one of my last videos, I had showed y'all we had like a nutrition deficiency. You can see here, it actually looks a lot better, but I figured it was a nutrition issue because my DWC buckets have such a shallow reservoir compared to my Beto bucket system, and we had gotten a lot of rain, and my leaves were starting to look mottled with this yellow. And so I drained the buckets, and then I went ahead and did a complete nutrient refill. And as you can see, that must have worked, because my new growth is all better. So the adventures with DWC continues. Still not my favorite system. If I have to be honest, the Dutch buckets, Beto buckets are just so much more hands-off, but I have these and I want to make it work. On the homestead, I am fully intending to have my hydroponic system set up in my greenhouse. And I think that's going to help with a lot of the pressure that I see. And at that point, I feel like the system will be pretty much flawless. Hey guys, got all my supplies here for our seed starting. And I wanted to talk about the first one, the Mexican sunflower. These are new to me. I've actually read that they break down pound for pound to be the equivalent as chicken manure. And some even refer to it as a vegan manure. I do plan on having animals on my homestead, but I'm primarily growing these because I want to get a jump start on fertilizing my property, basically, before I move there and start planting in it. I just figured this would be a great way to get a good jump start on it. Now for these seeds, I actually had them soaking overnight because some of them, we went to the property yesterday and I direct sowed a bunch of them. So some of them I already put out. The rest I'm going to start, because these don't look like true sunflower seeds. They look more like marigold seeds. I was a little surprised. I was expecting a sunflower seed, and that's not really what I got. So I got a little nervous about just direct sowing all of them on the property since I'm not there to babysit them as much. I think I'm going to start them in these little cells once they come up. I know you're not supposed to transplant sunflowers, but I'm actually starting a few different types of sunflowers today. I don't really have the luxury of not transplanting them. And I've done it before. As long as you're gentle, you'll be fine. You just can't mess with their tap roots. And again, this doesn't even look like a real sunflower seed, so I'm not sure what to expect there. Just doing a little shallow hole. I'm not using anything special. We're late in season. This is just going to be a very impromptu planting. Some are getting 2 per hole, which of course is not intentional. Get in there. Whatever comes up that I don't have room for, I'm going to just plant here. Figure it can't hurt. It's a beautiful day. I'm in zone, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, I'm in zone 9A, and I'm curious what other people grow during this time of year in their yards. It's really too hot for a lot of things here, but I don't know, is it where you live? Probably not. You live in a nice climate. This is old potting soil, really woodsy, nothing super exciting. So I finished filling up this tray, and the extra seeds that I had, I went and sprinkled in row C back there because those beds need the most amending. They are just struggling along right now. So I have some back there. I'm not expecting those to even come up. I have a lot of squirrel pressure and a lot of bird pressure. They like to dig up those types of seeds. So I'm not really expecting a whole lot. But I have plenty started here. So that's exciting. And I actually have a whole other pack, because since it was just the first time growing them, I bought 2 packs. I wasn't sure how many seeds would be in here or my confidence level of, getting them to come up and transplant. So we have those going. Now I am going to start some other sunflower varieties too. I have a Paradovic. The packet's a little faded out. It says sunflower oilseed variety. I've never grown that, so I'm looking forward to that. I have just a regular, another faded packet because I'm terrible with treating my seeds properly. But dwarf teddy bear, also trying to grow. Let me try to hold up. Trying to grow that. And just a generic, got this out of an Amazon pack of seeds. Generic sunflower. Now, I am going to soak these for a hot second, and then I'm gonna plant them. And I'm doing 2 per variety. Whoa, these are giants. This must be like a mammoth variety. You can see like the seed there. It's like big. I don't know if you can even see that, but I'm gonna soak those. I have some rainwater here that's just sitting. I collected that while I was on vacation. And so I'm going to write up my tag. If you have a favorite variety of sunflower, please share it. I am always excited to grow new flowers. It's funny, I used to never grow flowers, only things that I could eat. And then I started with nasturtiums because it was edible. And I have eaten it in salads before. It's fine. I don't necessarily go out of my way to eat them that way all the time, but I fell in love with the beauty that the garden could provide. And I started growing flowers of different types. This is my first year growing cosmos. I really started with zinnias and nasturtiums, and then I've been branching out and really practicing implementing things of beauty in the garden. And in fact, I'm at the point now where on the homestead, I want a full, true cottage garden. So, planting sunflowers, since the seeds are so big, you can go pretty deep with them. Yeah, so this one, I think I tried to grow, these seeds are a lot smaller. The dwarf teddy bear seeds, oh, they are much smaller than that last one. I don't know if you can even see that. It's a little concerning, but I'll do my best. Maybe I should do 2 per, I think I'm going to do 2 per cell. I'm using my larger cells. I'll show you in just a second. Put the Mexican sunflowers in these small cells. That may come back to bite me. I don't know. See what the Paradovic looks like. Okay. I think I'm saying that right. Oh, these are nicer size seeds. They're not as big as those first ones, but they are definitely nicer. I'm going to, since they're a little bit larger, I am going to soak them for a hot second. So you can see I have them planted out here in these larger cells. I believe these are 4-inch cups, plastic cups. I got them off of Amazon. They weren't priced too terribly. The trays I got off Amazon as well, the bottom watering trays. My only issue with the trays themselves, I wish they were a flat bottom. They have like these kind of like ridges in them that I don't love. I don't love the ridges that are in there. My cups don't sit flat, but other than that, I've been using them now and they're lasting. So hopefully I can get a couple of seasons out of them. So the other seeds that I'm starting today, moving away from sunflowers now, I am starting more squash. I lost all of my squash plants that were outside to vine borers. Every one of them is gone. My greenhouse had a lot of squash in it. Those have mysteriously died too. Most of them. I don't know why. Vine borers cannot get in there, but I did have issues with whitefly problems, and it's just they got diseased and they died. So I am going to be doing a complete greenhouse overhaul, which that will be a totally separate video because I've got to get all the volunteer tomatoes out of there. It's just getting unruly. It's like a jungle at this point. Plus there's a whole bunch of dead plants. So I am going to be starting more. I have 10 grow bags in there on drip irrigation. I'm going to do 2 of each variety. This is just your standard Black Beauty zucchini. Now, yes, because I grow in a greenhouse, I do have to, I'm sure y'all have seen zucchini seeds before, but just in case, decent size. So I do drop them in the water for a second. And I'll write their tag. But because I grow in a greenhouse, I do have to go in and hand pollinate. I have been moving into parthenocarpic varieties, which have done okay. And parthenocarpic means they set fruit on their own. You don't have to go in and hand pollinate between all the flowers. I don't think these varieties that I have right now are parthenocarpic, but I do know I have a couple of varieties. And if I wanted to make my life easier, that's really what I should be starting, but why make things super easy? I'm gonna get these in their little spots. Now this next variety, I'll have to put a picture up because there's no picture, but it's a hybrid. It's called Early Nutter. I think it's supposed to be a variety of butternut, and whatever extra I have of these seeds or plants that come up, I am, like I said, I've got the homestead property. I'm not over there a whole lot, but I go enough to take care of the trees we planted, the wax myrtles. So this next one, another hybrid, Zucchini Commander. This one actually performed well for me out here. All of the seeds are about the same size. I don't normally have too much of a difference when it comes to squash. So I just give them a little dunk in the water. You can soak them overnight, of course. Somebody better prepared would have. Here I have another hybrid. This one's called Spineless Beauty. I think it was supposed to be less prickly. Honestly, I'm doing this now. I want to take better notes in my greenhouse and try to compare these varieties to see who does well where. It's definitely a challenge to grow in the greenhouse, something like this, when you do have to come out. And the way that squash flowers work, you have to be out in the morning time because they close up by midday. So there's no sleeping in. And they're only open for one day. Now you can harvest the male flowers, put them in a Ziploc baggie in your fridge, and I think they'll last, supposedly a couple days. I've tried it. I can't say it worked great, but in a pinch, if you only have your males coming on and your females are close but not quite there, it may help you if you're growing in a situation like this where you don't have bees or pollinators. My last one, another faded packet, the Early Prolific from Baker's Creek. I've had these seeds, let's see, because they have a date on there. And you can see the seeds are, again, standard fare. Drop them in there. I've had these seeds since 2020. 2020, when I first started gardening here. It's when I first learned about squash vine borers, because at my houses prior to this, we didn't have them. I grew squash, no issues. If anybody has any squash suggestions, I'm also very open to that. I love trying new things, trying new varieties. It is something so exciting about it. And then it almost is a challenge to learn how to cook it or preserve it. That's just part of the fun for me. I do have a lot of seeds. I showed my seed box in one of my first seed planting videos. I'll have to bring it back out. I'm going to do a good job of picking up my seeds this time, not letting them sit out in the sun. And now with anything, you just need to soak these in. I still have my one lonely mallow left over here and my Tabascos. These are going to need to be potted up soon. I did lose 2 of my Tabascos while I was on vacation, which sucks, but I can't really say I'm surprised. Got everything watered in, all the things we just planted. And of course, they're sharing a table with my mallow and my poor Tabasco that needs to be up potted. And my little coleus. Finally, a set of true leaves down there. That's exciting. I had 2 out of all those seeds come up. I think what I'm going to do with the rest of those seeds, since they're so tiny, I'm going to start them hydroponically indoors. I think that's going to be the best bet for them. So I will be starting a round of those shortly. What are you guys working on in your yard? What are your summer projects? In the next few weeks, I will be doing a lot more seed starting. Tomatoes, peppers, and be up potting, be planting out direct sowing. And I will start also my brassicas and things of that nature and be planting the fall garden. It's crazy to think that just that soon, you're in the middle of the spring garden. It's coming to an end and you're already planning for fall, but here we are. I'd love to know what your projects are going on. I'd love to know if you're starting seeds, what seeds you're starting now. How does that work for you? I'm always interested in trying new things. So thank you all for hanging out with me. Appreciate the company. And until next time, stay blessed.